Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of On the Clock with Personal Living Alert. I'm David, and I'm with Personal Living Alert. And today we're going to talk to Deena Borzak, and Deena is with the South Florida Jewish Cemetery. She's going to explain to us what is going on in her world. Good morning, Deena, and how are you today?
Good morning, David. I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, I went outside for the first time yesterday in about 5 weeks. It was a good day.
Beautiful day out.
Yes, it was. So, Deena, we're going to talk about the cemetery industry and how that's been impacted with the COVID-19. But before we get into that, what's your background? Who are you? What are you all about?
Okay, well, David, I was lucky enough to be home raising our four daughters for many, many years. And about 12 years ago, I was fortunate enough to start working in the home health care industry. And for the past 12 years, I worked either in companion care or in the home health care industry in the administrative roles. So that was really my entree into senior care. My family has a tradition of being involved as volunteers in the traditional and holy process of Jewish burial and Jewish preparation for burial. So I was really raised in that environment where that was very important, and that it was great to give respect and to the dead people and to provide an affordable, respectful Jewish funeral. When Rabbi Lyons, our director, had this as a dream to start a nonprofit traditional Jewish cemetery, I was in touch with him right from the get-go and was so excited to be brought on, as it is a perfect melding of so much of what I'm about.
All right, interesting. Now, back in October, November, December of 2019, we all knew that funerals are solemn events. People came and paid their respects. While it's only a few months ago, it seems like an eternity ago. What are funerals like in the last 5 weeks?
Well, in the last 5 weeks, things really had to pivot very quickly for us to be able to really take care of our families. In the past, we always had the family participate a real lot by children or grandchildren carrying the casket to the graveside, and for everybody to participate in the burial and the digging of the graves, as all of our graves are hand dug and hand filled. Now, we very much only have this funeral staff, because of distancing, carry the caskets, and we allow people to still partake in the burial and the digging and the filling of the grave, but only if they bring your own shovel. So everybody is invited in that way. Of course, we have very, very limited number of people, only the immediate family at the funerals now, when we used to have 60, 80, 120, even up to 200 people at the graveside.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, also, even now, sometimes immediate family can't get to the funeral. As we all know, travel's been halted. And so we provide Wi-Fi hotspots, a tripod, a Zoom access, and every funeral is put on Zoom for the loved ones to be able to see it from afar.
A Zoom funeral, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't have the same impact as being there in person, but it's the next best thing, I guess.
Exactly, just like everything in life, right?
Yeah. So, where is there a national organization of cemetery/funeral parlors that are telling you and your organization, or providing guidance on what to do in today's environment, or are you guys just doing what you believe is best, or looking at the CDC for guidance? How is that coming down?
Well, we certainly do look at the CDC for guidance, but we are a project and under a national organization and a pilot project of the National Association of Chevra Kadishas, which is the National Association of Jewish Cemeteries. And it's called NASC, and the acronym NASCK is a leader in the field in many, many ways, but it certainly has taken a leadership role in setting safety standards today, working with professionals and epidemiologists and other professionals on how to stay safe and still handle Jewish burial preparation and burial. So we are really under that national organization.
You know, every religion has its own ceremonies and rituals. And I don't know if you could speak globally on all of those. I know because you work for a Jewish cemetery, you could speak easily on those. So, any of the ritualistic things that took place, how are they changing or being implemented today?
That's a really good thing to bring up. Every tradition and religion and culture has its own special systems of doing things. Jewish burial has traditionally been done with a very holy and sanctified washing of the body and wrapping in shrouds for burial. This is still being done in a very, very careful setting. It is usually use a great big large pool of volunteers who like to do this holy work. We have limited the number of volunteers because really the fear is from the live people and the other people you're working with, the transmission of COVID, not as much to the deceased person. So you're only being in touch with a very few people while you're doing that work. We use a very, very small pool. Of course, we have the highest standards of cleanliness, and we all wear PPE when doing this kind of work. And in addition, when extra stringent members regulate, extra stringent care is taken when it is the case of a COVID-19 deceased person.
What are the challenges do you think cemeteries and funeral parlors are experiencing today?
I think the challenges are to make sure that we can still have the opportunity to meet with the families and to really work with them and for them to understand the seriousness and that that we take our jobs and to really make sure that they are walked through this very, very sad process with us, albeit sometimes at a distance.
How do you think everything, when do you think, I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, and I don't know about what's happening in other parts of the country. I haven't had a chance to talk to too many other people. I know they're opening up other parts of the country as far as, restaurants and things like that. Are they opening up any funeral parlors outside or cemeteries, or is that still
We're
contained?
still, well, being in Palm Beach County, we're still following the Palm Beach County regulations, and we're still keeping it immediate family, small numbers, totally distanced. And we'll just wait for the word like everybody else from the county.
What do you think funerals will go back to the way they used to be, or do you think they're going to kind of stay the way they are now? I mean, other industries, their new normal is very different.
That's a really something we've discussed quite a bit, and we really do hope that people realize that we have used these distance funerals and using Zoom, for example, that it still doesn't make up for really, really being there when it's permitted to be there. That the best thing for closure and the best thing for really understanding the loss and for mourning the person is to be there in person. And we really hope that people don't think that this is the new normal. And we hope we can go back to people really getting on a plane, getting in their car and going and taking the time to mourn the person in person.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Her husband passed about a year and a half ago, and she couldn't go visit. And so I was just thinking, are there Zoom visitations to go see your husband, your loved one, whatever, a year and a half, 2 years after their burial? I mean, today, can you Zoom visit somebody?
At the gravesite?
Yes.
Yes, we have done that for people when it is the anniversary of their death or different special occasions that they've wanted. They've contacted our office, and we've been able to do that for them via Zoom or other mechanisms so they could have that visitation time.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very special. So, Deena, when are we going out and seeing the world again and getting out of our houses, and being able to network? Or when are you going to go to the movies, a concert, anything?
Oh gosh, your guess is as good as mine, and when I get the word, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Fabian and I talked about we're not ready to go anywhere yet. I mean, staying at home is perfectly fine. We go out to get some food and that, to the local supermarket, and that's about it. We have no desire to go to movie theaters or anything right now.
Right, that green burial and Jewish burial is what I know about. I don't know about the movie theater industry, and I think they've got a
No,
whole
not
big
not to
funk
just go
fest.
when you would be comfortable in going to a movie and sitting next to
I,
somebody
I
and sitting
can't,
next
I
to somebody at
can't,
dinner.
I can't even think about it now. It's such a pipe dream. It feels like, right?
Yeah, it could be. All right. Well, Deena, I just want to, thank you for being on and you're a wealth of knowledge. So if anybody has any questions about a Jewish funeral or a traditional funeral or any questions at all, how can somebody get in touch with you if they have a question?
Okay, we can be reached morning, noon, or night at our office phone, which is 561-264-4364. Again, it's 561-264-4364. Normally, I would say just please stop by at any time to our site on Lantana and Congress and Lake Worth, but that's a little more difficult now. Or we can be reached on the website at sfjc.org, which stands for South Florida Jewish Cemetery.org.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And you know what? It was very informative. I truly appreciate you being on with us today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it too.